Yes, it's thought this year's World Cup is going to bring in about 95,000 foreign visitors, big numbers, and of course each one will be looking to take home a small, memento of their trip to this country. But what kind of souvenir are they really getting? Now, Kate Lynch has been on the case and she is with us. Lovely to see you. Now, what are we on the hunt for here?
Well, we're on the hunt for anything that our tourists that come to this Rugby World Cup would be looking at picking up and looking at buying. Now, I don't need to tell you that one of the main selling points of this Rugby World Cup has been its economic benefit. Wouldn't it be amazing if every single one of those 95,000 people came here and bought something that was made in New Zealand? Imagine what it would do for our economy. But if our investigation is correct, a lot of that money will actually be going overseas. Have a look at this.
I'm here only once in my life, so I want to bring home something special, something from New Zealand.
I guess going to New Zealand and not bringing back something from New Zealand kind of defeats the purpose of bringing anything back from New Zealand.
If it's a souvenir of your country, I think it's important that it's made here.
They're iconic symbols of Kiwi culture. But how many of them are a genuine slice of God's own? Tonight we're putting the spotlight on New Zealand souvenirs.
Yeah, look, New Zealand, made of New Zealand power.
Yeah.
Where's it made? Made in China.
I can't think of another way of describing it other than the dumbing down of our culture.
Our first stop is Auckland International Airport, the gateway to our nation. This is often the first and last place that tourists come to pick up Kiwi souvenirs. But how many of them are actually made in New Zealand? We sent a hidden camera to find out.
New Zealand t-shirt?
Made in China.
Made in China. New Zealand Kiwi, what about that?
Made in China. Donald, but socks are made in China.
New Zealand Kiwi? Oh, that's nice.
Made in Vietnam. New Zealand cheese, made in China.
New Zealand Kiwi mug, made in China. New Zealand's favourite toy?
Made in China.
Made in China.
What about Rotorua, the birthplace of New Zealand tourism? Every year, thousands of tourists flock here for an authentic taste of Kiwi culture.
Hello, this is New Zealand Kiwi mug.
What about the New Zealand flag?
Made of New Zealand power.
Yeah.
Made in China. Same shell to overseas.
Yeah.
Shell some meal and then bring back.
Yeah.
They write down made by New Zealand power.
Do you think people care whether or not it's made?
Depends.
Yeah.
Some people like care about that.
Don't care.
Some people, oh, this is New Zealand cake, made in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But well, same cake.
Yeah.
All the same.
From my point.
It's dyed.
Really?
So power, genuine power, doesn't look like that. So they put a dye in it to make it look brighter and richer and,
But it says it's made of New Zealand power.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
Mike Gears owns Art by the Sea in Devonport on Auckland's North Shore. He only stocks products that are 100% made by New Zealanders.
This is made by a guy from Napier. He's a silversmith. He only works in silver and he only works with genuine New Zealand power.
If a tourist is met with a choice between these and those, when these cost, $5, what do you think that they're going to choose?
They go for the cheapest version because they can't tell.
He says choosing Kiwi is choosing quality.
Okay, this is a great example. This cup retails for $35. The cup is made 100% in New Zealand. The pottery, the glaze.
I think this was about $12, and when we got it into the car, the handle fell off it. So that's what our
dumbing down of our culture is. People specifically want something that they think is unique and one-off, and something that's come from the country of origin. If they later on find out that it wasn't actually made in New Zealand, that it was made in another country, that's going to give them a bad impression of New Zealand.
Gears believes cheap imports are destroying our culture and our economy. By stocking these cheaper versions, what are they doing?
Well, they're preventing people who do make the real items from being able to stay in business.
What did you buy?
T-shirt.
Can I have a look? Zealand, that's Kiwi on the front.
All Kiwi souvenirs.
So, can you see on there where these T-shirts are made?
Made in China.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I think it's cheaper.
Buy local. Buy a New Zealand product. Do you want something that's going to be with you for 5 months or 5 years?
Rochelle Grace was the editor of the report. Chris Lynch, the producer. Kate Lynch, no relation, the reporter, of course. And so you bring back this lovely selection of very fine Kiwiana. And as far as I can work out, we've got 3 groups, haven't we? So we'll talk about those in a moment. But by and large, what do people expect to buy? I mean, when they go into a shop, do they really expect New Zealand? Is everything supposed to be made here?
I don't think they expect everything to be made in New Zealand, but there was a certain amount of confusion. I think that people were even seeking guidance from me as to which products are made in New Zealand and which aren't. And I think it needs to be, I guess, more clearly labelled. We were surprised that about 50% of what we found in those souvenir stores was made overseas, and even more surprised that a lot of the Rugby World Cup merchandise is actually made overseas, including a jersey that we've got a picture of our very own Prime Minister wearing.
There it is. Often as free trade mission to India. And where's it made? And
we have that exact same jersey here in the studio. I think it's your size, Mike.
Only just.
It's made in Vietnam.
Vietnam?
Yes.
So an all-black jersey is made in Vietnam. See, some of the stuff, that might surprise people. What about the ball? Where's the ball made? Is that a New Zealand ball for the...
That is made in India. You have to look very hard to figure that out, because with all of this writing and everything that's on the ball, it's very smallly written on here that it's actually made in India.
OK. See, the other ones, I mean, to be fair, I don't know. I mean, would you really expect that? I mean, that's just crap, isn't it? I mean, isn't it, at the end of that, it's just little $2 crap. Would you really expect that to be made in New Zealand?
Well, the cheaper versions, you probably wouldn't expect them. But the issue here is like what we came across with the para, because there is that cheap kind of crap, as you say.
Do you get to keep those?
I'm hoping that if I do get to keep them, they don't make my ears turn black.
Exactly. So is there any power in those or not? Because there is a claim that it's New Zealand power, and you can't sell stuff that it's not correctly claimed.
Well, the gentleman that we spoke to certainly thought that they looked far too bright and shiny to be real New Zealand power. So we've actually sent it away to a lab to be tested, and we'll be updating our viewers with that at a later date.
Very good indeed. Appreciate your time. Kate Lynch. Well, Close Up, by the way, is starting a Made in New Zealand challenge, and the question is, are you prepared for us to come into your home and see how many of your possessions are actually made in this country? I mean, are there any local businesses, I don't know, taking on China or making anything local anywhere anymore? So get in touch with us online, head to the Facebook site there, or send an email to closeup@tbnz.co.nz.